Hey students, I hope you all are doing well and through online classes we have completed one chapter in physics, that is electricity, and lots of things we understood there. The only thing is now you need to revise the concepts, you need to go through the numerical, and if you find any doubt let me know so that we can discuss. Okay, so now since we have completed one chapter, we are going to the next chapter, that is magnetic effect of electric current. This is quite lengthy chapter but we don't have much numerical. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about the magnet, the magnetic field and magnetic field lines. So these are the three main topics we are going to cover today. So I hope you will be able to understand the concepts. So very first, let's start with the basic, that is called magnet. So we know any material that can attract the iron pieces, they are called magnet. So the magnet can be natural, that is obtained from the earth, or we can make it artificial magnet also. Means even artificial magnet, with the help of different methods, the magnet can be made. But overall all the magnets are having similar property, that is it attracts the iron. Okay, so the magnet can be natural magnet, that is obtained from the earth, also called magnetite. So magnetite is one of the magnet which is obtained from the earth, which is having a chemical formula of Fe3O4. So that is one thing you should know, and you can search out the history of this magnet, how it was discovered. Okay, so today we are going to talk about magnet and related concepts. So I think magnet is very simple to understand. Any material that can attract the iron is called a magnet, and can be natural and can be artificial. So artificial magnet, you might have seen the bar magnet, horseshoe magnet, then even the ring magnets you might have seen. So there are different magnets which are available in the market, and most of them are basically artificial, which are made by different methods. That we'll also discuss at the end of the chapter somewhere. Okay, so I hope this much is clear. Now next thing we know, if we have a magnet and a magnet is placed anywhere, we know any magnet has two poles, north and the south. So north pole and the south pole are the two different poles of the magnet that we have done in class 6 also. So if I place any iron object here, it will attract, but after a certain distance, if I place the iron magnet, it may not attract it. So the iron may not be attracted by the magnet when it is placed at some distance. So this magnet has some field, and that field is also called magnetic field. So overall the magnetic force we are talking about is a non-contact force, and whenever we talk about any non-contact force like magnetic we have, electrostatic we have, gravitational we have, then the term will always come, that is field. Means if it is non-contact, means it can attract even from the distance, then that distance is having a limitation. So within the space, a particular space in 3 dimensions, the strength of this magnet can be felt. Same like if we talk about the earth, so within some space it has the gravitational field. So within some space the earth can attract anything. If you escape from the field, the earth cannot attract you back. Okay, same like if you talk about any charge, positive or negative, even this will have a field, that is called electrostatic field. So electric field, electrostatic field, within which the charge can attract or repel the other charges. So all the three are non-contact forces, that is magnetic, gravitational and the electrostatic. And whenever we have non-contact forces, we always have a field. So field is just a way to demonstrate or to show the force acting on a given object. So we can say within the space the force can be felt, within the magnetic field, the force can be felt by any magnetic material. Within the gravitational field, any object can be attracted by the earth. Within the electrostatic field, some charges can be attracted or repelled by the main charge. So that is how the meaning of field is very important. That always comes in the concept of non-contact forces. So overall we can say that the magnetic field is a space. So let's have a definition. Magnetic field, a space, that is 3D space around a magnet, within which the force, the magnetic force, can be felt or experienced by other magnet or magnetic material. Okay, so I hope this definition is clear. The space around a given magnet in which the magnet can attract or repel the other material is basically called magnetic field. So I hope this much is also clear. So just a space. And now next thing is, that is magnetic and non-magnetic material. So we know magnetic material is that can be attracted by a magnet, and non-magnetic cannot be attracted. So this is something we have done in class 6 also, and examples we have many, like iron, nickel, cobalt are some magnetic materials we have, and non-magnetic is like rubber, plastic, wood. So I hope this is also you have done in previous class, some of the class, that is class 6, so not so complicated. And now we are moving to the next concept, that is magnetic field lines or magnetic lines of force. So they are same thing, they are not different. So let's understand the meaning. So very first, whenever we talk about any magnet, for example we have a bar magnet and we place it somewhere, then it will have its own field, that is magnetic field. That is the space we are talking about. Okay, and within that field, every point, if I say point X, Y, Z, A, B, every point will have some strength. Means if I place any magnetic material at point A, point B, point X, Y, Z or any other points within the space, then every point there will be some difference in the magnetic field, that is the strength of the force given by the magnet. So within the magnetic field we have the magnetic force, and every point the force will be different, and that force is a vector quantity. We know in 9th class we understood a force is a vector, so it will have a magnitude, means it will have some value in Newton, plus it will have a direction. So if you talk about a magnetic field, within the magnetic field every point there is some magnetic force, and that magnetic force will have particular direction. So overall, in a magnetic field, the direction of magnetic force at any point is given by the concept called magnetic field lines. So magnetic field lines are nothing but a way of showing the direction of force and the magnitude of force at any point that we are going to discuss now. So briefly we can say it is a way or distribution of showing the direction and magnitude of magnetic force. But this is not the definition, okay? This is just to understand the concept, okay? So any point will have some magnetic force, it will have some direction, and that can be calculated, that can be shown, that can be understood with the help of the pictures called magnetic field lines. So basically lines are something we can see within the magnetic field. So more about this, let's understand the concept. So briefly we should know magnetic field lines are the way to see or to understand the magnetic force within the magnetic field. So in general, to get a proper definition of the magnetic field lines and to see the magnetic field line, we can have one activity. So I cannot demonstrate the activity here because I don't have the materials with me, but you can try at home, and if possible, if I get the material, I'll try to do the activity, I'll make the video and show to you as well. So let's understand the activity here. So we'll start with the bar magnet. So what you do, you take a bar magnet at home, if you can get it. It will have a north and a south pole, okay? And now one thing you know, that is magnetic compass. So magnetic compass you have already seen, that is having a shape like a circle, a box within which we have the needle, and you know this needle is having head north and tail south. That is how magnetic compass look like, okay? So what is to be done? You have to place the magnetic compass here near the north pole of the magnet. So what is to be done? Very first you place this bar magnet on a plain paper, white paper, and then nearby the north pole you bring the magnetic compass. So it is understood, if you bring the magnetic compass near the north pole, then south will be attracted because north and south attract each other. So you will see magnetic compass needle will be pointing like this in a particular direction. So I will be just showing you the needle, okay, not the entire compass. So once you place it nearby the north pole, you will see the south will be attracted, so the needle will be pointing in particular direction. Now what is to be done? You mark this point. Mark this point, okay. So this point I have marked. Now lift the compass and now try to bring the compass here on the mark such that the south pole should be adjusted with the previous north. So the one which was previous north pole, try to adjust the south of the needle. So you'll see now the needle will be facing in a particular direction. Okay, this is the needle. Now this will be south. So your south has to be adjusted on the previous point. North will automatically face in a particular direction. Now again you mark this point, the north of the needle. Again you lift it up and again try to adjust the south pole here. You see the needle will face in a particular direction. Again go on marking, and if you go on repeating this, you'll see finally you'll come back to the south pole. So if you start from the north, you will see the needle will start moving from north to the south. So finally you'll come back to the south pole, and if you join these points, what you'll get? You will get one of the magnetic field line. So it is understood, when the magnetic compass was placed here, the needle was pointing this way. So we can say this is the direction of the magnetic force. So magnetic force is in this direction along which the needle is facing. At this point we can say the magnetic force is this direction. At this point we can say magnetic force is this direction. At this point we can say magnetic force is this direction, and at this force it is at this direction. So with the help of this we are able to get at any point what is the direction of magnetic force. So overall whatever we have drawn, that is nothing but one of the magnetic field line that is showing you the direction of magnetic force at any point, and this will also show you how much is the strength of the magnetic force, that we'll see. So based on this activity we can say that is magnetic field line is a hypothetical line. Hypothetical is something based on the activity and the theory that we are getting here, and it's not something imagination. If you start doing this activity you'll get this line on the paper and try. Okay, so one thing is clear, it's a hypothetical line around a magnet within some magnetic field, which basically shows the direction of force, that is magnetic force, and the strength of the magnetic force. Okay, that is one thing. Next thing is, in general we know if we have a magnet it will have a north and the south, and these two north and south cannot be separated. Even a small piece of the magnet, a dot like, even this will have a north and the south. Okay, but just take an example, somehow which is not so possible, but we are getting a monopole. Mono means one, which is not possible, but just take an example, we have monopole, we have a north pole. So let's imagine our north pole or unit north pole. Okay, now if you see, this point was nothing but the north of the needle previously. Again this point was at the north, this point was the north, so all the head was nothing but the north. That is how we got this line, only with the help of the north pole. Sorry, we got this line. So based on this we can also define the magnetic field line, that is, it is a line around a magnet along which the unit north pole is moving from north to south pole of a given magnet. Yes or no? So you understood the north pole. If you just imagine a north pole was here, then here, then here, and it was starting from north and coming back to the south. And based on this definition is given, if we have a monopole, that is north pole, then that monopole will move from north to south pole of a magnet, and the line that it will follow, the path it will follow, it is called magnetic field line. Okay, so based on this we have the definition of the magnetic field lines, that is, they are hypothetical lines around a magnet, along which the unit north pole moves from north to south pole, north to south poles of the given magnet. So this is the definition based on the activity. Okay, and these lines can be seen within the field. So this is just one line, and if you do this activity, I hope the definition is clear. Monopole is clear, but which is not so practical. So we did this activity once only, that is, we just got one line. But if you repeat the same, now you started from point X, if you start from point Y, again you see the needle will start facing and it will finally come back here. So it will give you another magnetic field line. If you start from some other point here, you will get another line. If you start from some other point, you will get another line. And you see, all the time you will get a separate line. Every time, the time you change the position from where you start, you will get a separate line. So within the space, within the field, magnetic field, there are infinite number of magnetic field lines. Okay, and that is what we are going to discuss next. That is, if the magnetic field lines are there within the space, then what are their properties? Okay, but I hope the magnetic field lines are clear. So overall, for a given magnet, any kind of the magnet, if it is a bar magnet, horseshoe magnet, ring magnet, circular magnet, every magnet will have some magnetic field, and within the magnetic field lines will have a particular pattern. For every kind of magnet that we have, the magnetic field lines pattern will be different. So here you can see on the picture that I am trying to show how the magnetic field lines look like for a given bar magnet. So you can see the picture now. So on this picture you can see the magnet is there at the center with north and the south, and how the different lines are visible, and that is done with the help of the iron filings. So if you place a bar magnet with the north and the south, and if you spread the iron filings, so iron filings or fillings, so if you take the small pieces of the iron and if you spread on it, you will see the iron fillings will be arranging themselves in a particular pattern, and that pattern will be nothing but showing you the magnetic field line the way it is looking like on the picture. And for every kind of the magnet, you will see the pattern will be different. So I hope this is clear. The magnetic field lines that basically decides the magnetic force within a magnetic field. So let's talk about some properties of magnetic field lines. So before we go for this, you should know, for a bar magnet, the magnetic field lines will be something like this that you have seen in the diagram. So in general it looks like this. We cannot draw all the line, but in general the magnetic field lines pattern will be something like this. Okay, so this is, you should remember, and for any type of magnet, a different magnetic field lines pattern will be there. So let's talk about properties of magnetic field lines. Okay, so the very first property we have is, if you see the picture again, the nearby the poles, the north and the south, what do you see? The crowd is maximum, that the magnetic field lines are very crowded near the poles. So that is the first property we have. Magnetic field lines, or directly writing, they are crowded and very close, we can say, near the poles. And we know one thing, that nearby the poles of the magnet, the strength of the magnet is maximum. So we can say the place where you see the magnetic field lines are very close, that is basically showing you the magnetic field strength is very high, or we can say magnetic force will be high. That is how we understand with the help of the magnetic lines of force. So more is the crowd, that is the crowd of the magnetic field lines, stronger will be the magnetic force. So that is what we understand with the help of the magnetic field lines. And if you see the magnetic field lines, after some distance, what happens? They get separated. So the crowd is not that much. So you know, if you start moving away from the magnet, what will happen? The magnetic field lines will be quite at distance, and it is understood the force at this point, that the magnetic force is less or weak. So that is how we can identify if the magnetic force is stronger, not so strong, with the help of the magnetic field lines. If they are very close to each other in a given space, we can say the magnetic force is very strong. If they are not so, it is less or weak. So that is one thing we understand with the help of the magnetic field lines. I hope this property is clear. Okay. Next thing is, so that is understood, nearby the magnet, the magnetic field lines are very close. and crowded away from the magnet, the magnetic field lines get separated, and that basically tells that the strength of the magnet is strong near the magnet and it gets less when you move away from the magnet. Next property is they always form a closed loop. Okay, so loop, you know, that is closed path. So in general, if you have a bar magnet north and south, if you draw the magnetic field lines, it will start from the north and it will come back to the south. But it is not just outside the magnet. So this magnetic field lines is there within the magnet also. And the direction will remain same, that is anti-clockwise in this case. So in general, any magnetic field line will be forming a closed loop that will start from the north and it will come back to the south. So from here we can understand two things. It forms a closed loop all the time. And why it forms a closed loop? Because we know if the magnetic field line will start with the north, it has to come to the south. Because for any magnet we have two poles, north and the south. So since monopole is not possible, so we cannot have a field line just moving straight. It has to terminate at the south pole. So since any magnet has two poles, so magnetic field lines always start from the north and comes back to the south, and hence it always form a closed loop. That is what we understand here. So we can say, because any magnet has two poles, that is north and south poles. So the question may come, why the magnetic field lines form a closed loop? We can say since every magnet has a north and a south, so it has to form a closed loop starting from north, come back to south. And the question may always come, why the monopole is not possible? So we can say it other way. Since magnetic field lines always form a closed loop, so the monopole cannot exist. So we can answer any of the way and both are okay, not to worry. So that is one thing we understood here. I hope it is clear with the help of this. Next, from this diagram you can also see outside the magnetic field, the magnetic field line is from north to south. Within the magnetic or the magnet, the magnetic field line is from south to the north. So that can be the third property. That is, I am writing directly, they start from north pole and ends or terminates at south pole outside the magnet. So for this again we can draw the same diagram. North and the south magnetic field line is having the direction from north to south outside the magnet, and within the magnet it is from south to north. So inside the magnet, the field line is from south to north. So I hope you understood. The magnetic field lines is having a direction that is from north to south outside the magnet, and it is from south to north within the magnet, because it always form a closed loop. I hope this is also understood. And number 4, before you go for the next property, I want to give you one note that will help you to understand the concept. There is a term called magnetic flux density. So not to worry, no need to understand that much concept here, but at least you know the meaning, directly or indirectly, the meaning of this. So this is shown by the symbol capital B and with a arrow mark. So you understood from here, if it is having a arrow mark means it is a kind of vector. So magnetic flux density is nothing but if you have a magnet and it will have a magnetic field, so every point x, y, there will be number of magnetic field lines that will cross. So at any point there will be many lines of the magnetic field that will cross, and how many magnetic field lines are crossing through a particular point in a given magnetic field is called magnetic flux density, written as capital B. And overall it is understood, if the magnetic flux density, that is it is high means more and more magnetic field lines are crossing a particular point. So if the magnetic field lines will be many at a place means they are crowded, and if it is crowded the strength of the magnetic force will be stronger. So we can say if the magnetic flux density B is high means the magnetic field strength is high. If it is low, the magnetic field strength is low. So we can say it is nothing but the number of lines of force, that is magnetic lines of force passing through a given point within the magnetic field. Am I clear? So how many field lines are crossing this point y will be deciding the magnetic flux density at that point. So it is understood, if this B will be high means the magnetic force will be high, and if it is low the magnetic force will be low. So this is you have to remember. One more thing is, since overall it is talking about the magnetic force and since it is a vector, so magnetic flux density will have a particular direction at any point. So in general, if we have a magnet and a magnetic field line, every point x, y, z, three different points are taken. Every point the magnetic force will have different direction, and that will be nothing but tangential. So if you draw the tangent at point x, that will give you the direction of magnetic field strength or the magnetic flux density. At y, if you draw the tangent, it will come this side. If I draw the tangent here, it will come this side. So let this be B1, B2, B3. Repeating again, overall magnetic flux density is giving you the strength of the magnetic field, okay, and it is a vector quantity. So since it is a vector, every point it will have different direction. So at x, at y, at z, you can see there are three different directions of the magnetic field strength, and that is shown or given by the tangent. So if you have a magnetic field line, if you draw the tangent at any point, that will give you the direction of magnetic force or the magnetic flux density. So that you have to remember, that is tangent at any point on magnetic field line gives the direction of B, and B is nothing but a kind of magnetic force. That you have to remember, okay, because this is going to explain you the fourth property. So we can say if you place the magnetic compass at x, the needle will be facing this direction only. If you place the magnetic compass at y, the needle will be facing along this. So we can say when you are placing the magnetic compass, that time also the needle will basically face along the tangent. So the needle of the compass or the magnetic field line basically give you the direction of the magnetic force or magnetic flux density. So that you have to remember. So we can say if you have to find the strength of the magnetic force or the direction of the magnetic force at a given point, we just need to draw the tangent over the magnetic field line. So this you have to remember. And one more thing, you know, if anything is a vector, so we know any vector quantity depends on the direction, depends on the magnitude. So if at x and at y, at x and y the direction is different, so it is understood if I say this is b1 and this is b2, since b1 and b2 they have different direction, it is understood b1 cannot be equal to b2. Why? Because they are facing a different direction, and with the change in direction any vector's quantity will change. That is another thing you have to remember. But in a given space, if you see b1 b2 are parallel, then in this case b1 will be equal to b2. So if the direction are same, if they are parallel, they will be equal in all the ways. If the direction not same, the strength will not be same, means the magnetic force will be different. So I hope you understood this much, and based on this we have the fourth property of the magnetic field lines, that they can never intersect. Means if we have a magnet with the north and the south pole, if I draw one magnetic field line, if I draw another magnetic field line, these two magnetic field lines can never intersect at any point. So if I draw this way, this is not possible. So this can never happen in the magnetic field, that is they can never cross each other, and why, that we need to understand here. Okay, so let's take, let two field lines intersect. So we'll understand in different way. Let they intersect, then what will happen? So I'm not drawing the entire magnet now. So I'm drawing one magnetic field line x and another magnetic field line y. So x and y are the field lines, magnetic field lines. Okay, so they are intersecting at this point. Now we know if you have to find, let this point be P. So if you have to find the magnetic field strength at point P, then we know what can be done. Very first we need to draw the tangent. So what is the direction of the magnetic force, we can find out with the help of the tangent. So if you see this magnetic field line x, for the x the tangent will be facing this way. So let this be B1. So for magnetic field line x, the tangent is this way, and that is showing you the direction of B1, and for y the tangent will be somewhere this way, let it be B2. So what you see, the point is same, but at the same point P, the one magnetic field or the force is facing this way and another is facing this way. Means at the same point, since they are having two different direction, means it is understood B1 is not equal to B2. That is we understood, since they are vector and they are facing in different direction, means they are having different value. Means at the same point there are two different values of the magnetic force, which is not possible. So at the same point we cannot have two different values of the magnetic force. Am I clear? So if we have a magnet, at the same point we cannot have different force. So at this point there will be just one force, at this point another force, at this point another, but at the same point two different types of the force not possible. That is magnetic force not possible. So it is understood, if the two magnetic field lines intersect at a point, it basically shows you two different directions of the magnetic field strength, means there are two different values of the magnetic force at the same point, which is not possible, and hence they cannot intersect. So we can say if they intersect, means there are two different values of magnetic force at the same point, which is not possible. Hence they cannot intersect. So I hope this is understood. The magnetic field lines can never intersect, and if they intersect, the meaning is this, which is not possible. So these are the main properties we have, but one more you should remember, that is number 5, means if you see the magnetic field lines are parallel. So if magnetic field lines are parallel, it means that everywhere the magnetic field will face in the same direction. So here if I say V1, V2, all will be same because they are parallel. So if the vectors are parallel, it means they are same thing. So we can say if magnetic field lines are parallel, the magnetic force is uniform. So the magnetic force or flux density, that is B, is uniform. Uniform is constant, same everywhere. So I hope you understood this much. So anywhere you see the magnetic field lines are very close, the strength is maximum. They are far away, strength is minimum. If they are parallel, the field and the force is uniform. And you should know the SI unit of this is Tesla, capital T. So Tesla is basically the SI unit of magnetic flux density, or in general we also call it magnetic force. So that is the thing we have today. So I hope you understood this much, but still if you are finding any doubt in any of the concepts, just write down. We can discuss in the live session very soon, and I hope you'll find interest in this chapter as well. So for today is done. Thank you, take care, be at home. Hari Om.